Success is not just about reaching the destination, but understanding the journey. Let's explore the inspiring story of a man whose life is a testament to perseverance, ingenuity, and personal growth. This is the story of Giwa Dipo Olubola Ogunlana, a journey from humble beginnings to becoming a beacon of success. Born on January 28, 1975, at number 18 on Ronsha Street, in the historic town of Imepe, Ijebu-Odo, Giwa Oladipupo Olubola Ogunlana was born to Johnson Oluwole Ogunlana, a civil servant, and Comfort Abosede Ogunlana, trader.
He was born on a Tuesday. That day, his birth brought about joy to the family because he was born 2 weeks after the demise of our grandfather. That is how that name Babatunde came over with his name. Because most people did not know that he's behind that name Babatunde, but Babatunde came to his name.
Giwa's early life was marked by cultural richness, from his royal paternal lineage in Isonya Ogbo to growing up in the vibrant community of Onronsha Street, Imepe. He carried the heritage of his maternal side with pride. His mother, from Oborode in Ijebu-Odo, was affectionately known as Omoya Eleja Tutu, a nod to her prominence in the local fish trade.
Dípò jẹ́ ẹni tó jẹ́ pé ní ìlú Ìsànyà Ògbó kò ń ṣe ẹni tí a lè fọwọ́ rọ́ sẹ́yìn nínú àwọn akẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀. Dípò jẹ́ ẹni tó jẹ́ wípé láti primary school ni Dípò ti máa ń ràn yàn lọ́wọ́. Ó jẹ́ ẹni tó jẹ́ pé ó gentle, tẹ́ bá bomi sí lẹ́nu ibi tẹ́ fi fún yẹn náà lè máa ti bá. Ó mọ̀wé, ó gbafẹ́. Àti kékeré ni Dípò ti máa ń kó àwọn èèyàn jọ láàárín àwọn ẹgbẹ́ àtìpọ̀ ó yá ẹ wá ẹ súnmọ́ bí ẹjẹ́ àṣebáyé ẹjẹ́ àṣebáyé ẹjẹ́ báyìí wọn á jọ ṣeré á lọ sílé oníkálukú á ṣeré ń bẹ̀. Ilé wọn Ogunlana family níbẹ̀ ni àwọn Òdùwọlé wà. In fact níbi tí ilé wọn dá tó ní Ìsànyà Ògbó ni mo jẹ baálẹ̀ sí. Ilé wọn á jẹ́ number 2 or number 3 ní ìlú yẹn tí ó jẹ́ pé yes wọn ò ṣe fọwọ́ rọ́. Ẹ bá mú ilé pa Ayọ̀ Adébánjọ, ẹ múlé TP Ọdúnsì, ẹ múlé Balógun, ẹ múlé Ọ̀nànúgà náà bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni ẹ múlé àwọn Adé Òdùwọlé tó jẹ́ ti àwọn Ogunlana tó Dípò tó wá.
My childhood was quite interesting. Quite a number of my friends that we are still very close today, we had an interesting memories of our childhood. On Ronsha Street, let me mention some of the families that I grew up with on Ronsha. I have the Shabis, the Odushesos, the Ogufowotes, now Ogufowotes, the Onofesos, Oshobes, and a lot of others. I remember we all went to the same primary school. Back then in Ijebu-Odo, where the Lagos garage is now today, it used to be Shago. We call it Shago. That's where the madams, the outside, were living. So that was a part to our primary school, St. Peter's Unit School. So we had St. Peter's Unit School and the Precious Stone Primary School. So if you are not in St. Peter's Unit, you were in Precious Stone. So we walk down to school together in the morning, 7:30, 8 o'clock. And we also walk back home together. You know, fun memories, like 20, 25 children playing all kinds of banters on the road. We are buying gogo, buying tapadadi, buying ice cream, condensed, all kinds of things. So my childhood was, I would describe my childhood as one of the most interesting parts of my life, because each time I flash back on those days, I just bless God for myself. I bless God for my friends, for everyone that I grew up with.
His childhood memories are deeply rooted in Imepe's landscape, a place of ancestral significance. It was here, among the quiet back streets and bustling markets, that Giwa forged lasting friendships and developed a strong sense of identity.
Dipo, call him Dipo. Yes, more Lawrence and Dipo, because when you talk of we want to go into our sport, Kaluve started from school. Last leg ló gbá o, ló pa sáré tó bá ti gbági ẹ ti mọ̀ pé wọ́n ti mú position mi ò sọ pé first o wà ní wọ́n máa gbẹ̀bùn yes that is the primary school tó lọ UNA primary school he can run yes at some point why you won't thinking pé bóyá ó máa represent Nigeria kó wá lọ sáré lólympic kó gbà fi wá but as time goes by I think education yes ó padà focus there ó dẹ̀ concentrate Ocean Street everybody in the street àtọmọ kékeré àtàgbàlagbà well mo jù wọn lọ díẹ̀ but mo mingle sáàrin wọn as I can say one or two things tó tún yàtọ̀ sí ti àwọn set nìkan tó bá ń jà you won't be there no you are playing set in the street can play ball right now gan ọ yẹ kó tó jẹ́ bí àwọn coach àkọjá ni he can play ball yes and he score goals so there is no how tẹ bá ṣe I1 I2 you want to do set àwọn ó máa pẹ̀lú àwọn tẹ fẹ́ mú ó lè late débẹ̀ o but tó bá fẹ́ kí team ẹ kó score goal ní ẹ̀kan play fún ẹ dáadáa títí pọ̀ bá ti yọjú ẹ máa fẹ́ mú of course àwọn kan máa fẹ́ bínú pé àwọn náà ó ṣẹ̀ dé ní ó máa dìjà wọ́n tó bá ti dìjà ó máa pull out ẹ̀ ní rí mbẹ̀ because he doesn't want that he's not built for that yes the late baba Ogunlana àti mọ́mì kọlọ̀ kó túbọ̀ lọ rẹ̀ àwọn òun ṣe type tó jẹ́ pé ẹ̀ tí ẹ lè rí wọn kán wà níbẹ̀ no way so wọ́n ti imbibe gbogbo those attitudes and lifestyles ní àwọn ọmọ wọn.
I remember when Ayo Ogunfowote, now Pastor Ayo Olufowote, Pastor Ayo Olufowote, by the way, owns a church in Houston, Texas. He's a GO now. But when he had this, I think it was his 10th birthday. No, not 10th, I think 7th or 8th birthday. I still have a picture somewhere of people of my age were there in there was no shoes. In fact, I was wearing my sister's buba on I don't know where my mom, I don't know how she came up with that kind of dressing. We were all wearing all kinds of shades of buba and the shokoto, no shoes. These are the kind of things I always bless God for anytime I remember.
From playing football in the streets to celebrating birthdays without shoes, his childhood was one of unity and simplicity. Giwa's close-knit group of friends from those formative years remains a powerful part of his life today. His life in Imekwe was more than just street. It was about forming a unique street culture, a blend of creativity and freedom that only children could find. These moments spent in informal meeting spots and scrappy local parks would serve as the foundation for a sense of independence and community. At Emmanuel Anglican Church, Italupe, Ijebu-Ode, Oladipupo's parents laid a solid spiritual foundation for his life through consistent prayer and the study of the Holy Scriptures. They nurtured a deep love for God within their family through fervent worship, while also instilling resilience and emotional awareness, teaching their children to understand and respect their emotions. Oladipupo actively participated in church life as a chorister, a member of the Boys Brigade, and a cross-bearer at Emmanuel Anglican Church for over 10 years. His faith deepened during this time. Notably, he served as the cross-bearer at the 1992 Centenary Celebration Service, marking 100 years of Christianity in Ijebuland. During the confirmation service led by the then Lord Bishop of Ijebu Diocese, the late Right Reverend Isaac Bamidele Omowaye Akintemi, Dipo became eligible to partake in the Holy Communion in the Anglican Church, a significant milestone in a spiritual journey.
I could remember when we had the choir. Àwọn àgbàyà wa stubborn díẹ̀. Àwọn girls jẹ́ pọ̀ ní choir store. Ẹ̀mọ̀ tá bá parí practice àti choir rehearsal tá lọlé, we send all these our young ones pé bá mi lọ pé fún mi wá, fi Bísí fún mi, pé fún Lọ́lá wá. It is these people you will send. Even at times, there are some other guys that are his contemporaries. Àwọn Ṣọlá Ògúnbánwò, kí ló ń pè Kúsàgà àǹkó, tí wọ́n máa ní kílé kan dípò àkànní ẹ̀gbọ́n mo lè lọ. Yes, let me go ma. Ṣèbí kí n kàn máa lọ pé wọ́n wá, á dẹ̀ lọ. Á kì í bọ̀dá Túndé fẹ́ rí yín and we talk. Are you getting me now? So on so many occasions, I could remember sometimes they go in the choir. I'm sorry, part of our stubbornness. When you offended us in the choir, in church, But after the choir practice, a ní battlefield a máa ti lọ ń jà. A máa lọ dànù dẹ́ni yẹn, àná fẹ́ kú. This, my àbúrò, from the shop, but that's when they could die. Ẹ má ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀, ẹ ṣe gidi kan. You leave us alone. A máa lọ. At the end of the day, the following week, a máa padà dé church. We are going to have the punishment. Because ọdún tí wọ́n gbà yẹn, bàbá yẹn á ti gbọ́. He's a retired teacher. Wọ́n máa pè wá síta nínú church, wọ́n máa nà wá, wọ́n á tún suspend wa, wọ́n á tún ṣe gbogbo ẹ̀. Later on, lè gbà ẹ̀gbọ́n mi dẹ̀ sọ fún yín kẹ́ má ṣe kínní yìí. Ọmọ kùyẹ́lẹ̀ kò pẹ́ kìdí kan. But in all cases, to see, Dipo is always there for you. There is nothing you expect from him that he will not do. There is nothing you sent him that he will not deliver. He will deliver beyond what you expect. I can say that fully about him. So, for him achieving much today or being at this level is not a surprise to people like us, because we know him from background and we know what he can do, and we know, and he himself knows what is expected of him, and definitely he will deliver more than this.
I grew up as a church boy. My parents were church people. I joined the choir at a very early age. I think I was 11 or 12 when I joined the choir at the Emmanuel Church Talupe. Because my aunt, my mother's elder sister, late Mrs. Oladipupo Balogun, made sure that we all joined the choir at a very early age. So I was in the choir. At some point, I became the cross bearer, and I remember fondly the 100 years of Christianity in Ijebu land. I was the cross bearer for that memorable service that had loads of bishops from Anglican Communion, loads of vicars, choirs from other churches, and I was the cross bearer, the main cross bearer for that service. That I will not forget in a long time. I saw my father sitting, my parents sitting pretty at that service, and I could see the excitement on their faces, seeing me leading the procession for that service. I was also in the church boys brigade, like every other child of my time. You cannot but be in join those activities. I was in the boys brigade, in the choir, in the drama group. I was also made at a very young age the president of the Youth Christian Charity Band of Emmanuel Church Talupe. These are things that actually shaped my life. What we see today, or what I see today, is part of the things, majorly as a result of those experiences, especially my church services. My father served God. My father was a churchman. I grew up knowing my father to be a prayer person. We had no other thing. My parents had no other thing than prayer. So we were born, I was born, bread and butter in church, so to speak. So up to today, anytime I do, anywhere I have, I always have this feeling, or this, how do I put it now, notion that, say, you are a church person. So that has always been a guiding factor to what I do from then up to now. So I bless God that today I'm able to share some of the experiences of those days. In Talupe Church, we always remain a focal point of my life. I spent a whole lot of my years in church. I was in church Tuesday, so I practiced Tuesdays and Thursdays. We did services Wednesdays and Fridays, grammar group, I think on Mondays. So we were church people. And likewise, some of the people that I grew up with. I still have a lot of them. I have my good brother, Dr. Oladipupo Ajayi. He's a senior lecturer at the University of Benin now. These are people, Brother Shabi, these are my a lot of them that were my older brothers back then. They were my mentors in the choir, in the church brigade. I won't forget my good friend, Ayeko Sholagumawa also in church with me. So it was easier for us to attend services, attend practices, and still go to school. And my Christian life has been one that at least my parents left that for me. They left that with me, and that's up to today. I'm very grateful for having been put in that direction, in that line, because it has been my guiding factor. It has been a major part of my life. So everything that I do up to today were things or are things that were put in me, back in me since I was younger, as a young Christian, as a young boy, as a young choir member, as a young boys brigade member, and of course, I have to remember some of my very good advice before the reverends, the Lord Bishop of Ijebu Diocese, under whom I got confirmed, late Bishop Isaac Bamidele Omowaye Akintemi, may so rest in perfect peace. I also was involved when Bishop Oloyo was the Bishop of Ijebu Diocese, and very well, Very was the principal of Ijebu Girls School at some point before I was even born also. I am not sure, but he was also the vicar of the church when I first joined the choir. I remember very well Emmanuel Ayodele Odukoya, an FCA, who also doubled as mentors when we go for practice in those days. Very good Odukoya will gather us to tell us about life, about choosing careers and all of that. So all of those things put together is what you see today. And I'm eternally grateful to God for giving me the opportunity to meet all of these people.
In the church, in the society, representing the church in Bible quiz competition alongside Shola Ogunbanwo, once somebody represent Amagbebon, we mostly came first. Yes. But Shola Ogunbanwo, Dipo Ogunlana, combination one year, breaking down the Bible for you in any Bible quiz competition. Oh, so our opponents go la that church is still more. Every time I read one, I want to look at, want to deal. Don't Bible to show you I'm first, but Tima Karuru Bawa, and whatever, I'm second. And this is him today, from humble background, yes, from the street of Orushen, playing football without slippers, no boots. Mama ti ṣe I1, I2, wọ́n ti select ẹ̀, bọ́ sórí pápá ni kó máa gbá lọ. Tó bá ti boot ọ ẹsẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ tó ti ṣẹ̀jẹ̀, kan sáré bẹ́ẹ̀ fi ọmọ abẹ́ gbo ewúro àbí ìwé kan sáré bẹ́ẹ̀ fi sí, ó sì fẹ́ play ball. Because everybody was enjoying that aspect of life. It's a free living life. Èèyàn kan ò ṣe pé èèyàn kan wish on ti ẹnìkan. No. Everybody visit each other's house freely. You can eat here, we go to their house. Oyaya kí ló wà lè, we eat. Ẹ̀gbọ́n, yes, where respect is due. Kò ní sọ pé torí pé ẹ ti jọ mingle. No. Up to this present moment, ó ṣì wà bẹ́ẹ̀.
I met Dipo Olubola about 10-12 years ago. While we were in church, he was the head of men's fellowship then. And one thing that characterized him was he was actually born a leader among peers. You know, he has this leadership interest in him.
School brought its own set of challenges as Dipo began to understand responsibility, social dynamics, and the importance of personal growth. His pre-adolescent years marked the development of a more mature outlook on life. At the age of 5, in 1980, Oladipupo began his primary education at one of the top primary schools in Ijebu, St. Peter's UNA Primary School, Imepe. He completed his studies there in 1986. A brilliant student, Oladipupo was appointed head boy in primary 6, a testament to his leadership and academic excellence.
Dipo Ogunlana happened to be my primary school classmate. We started UNA, Peter's UNA Primary School in Imepe. All through our school days, right from primary 1, Dipo Ogunlana has been a very, very friendly friend. You know, in primary school, primary 1, he was our class captain. Primary 2, he was still our class captain. Primary 3, all through primary 6. However, he is also involved in sporting activities. So, during the class inter-sports, Dipo Ogunlana always comes first. And to the extent that when we got to primary 4, yes, he was always representing the school in all our inter-sports, other schools. And most he always come first and bring trophy back to the school. Even in the classroom activities as well, he always comes first. Primary 1 he came first, primary 2 first, primary 3 the same thing, all through to primary 6. You know, combining all this together, made the school to appoint him as our head boy. So when later in our life, when I heard that the Giwa of Mayeku, I wasn't surprised, because there's nowhere you mention Mogulat. It's always the head. So that is how God has destined.
I was made the head boy in 1986, and you needed to see the excitement that day. Although I'm not sure any of us understood what it meant, but we just knew that an Inepe boy was the head boy of St. Peter's Way, because you had other guys or the other fractions coming from Adifison, from a road part of town to UNA. I was in school with my very good friends, the Shoni Barres, Lucy Monade, Tade, Tundi, and a whole lot of them. I remember also Suraju from a first of Oniyawo. Suraju was there. His cousin Shagobi was also part of the going hall. The Bundus, that was a nickname. I've forgotten his real name now. These are people. Asha was also a nickname of people that I grew up with on the street of Oroshe. And I cannot, but also talk about the Ogun Forwarders, now Odu Forwarders. We actually went to primary school, we went to secondary school, and their dad, I don't know if he's still living or not, Mr. Odu Forwarders, Ogun Forwarders, was a teacher in secondary school. So these are people, these are memories I cannot but share from time to time.
Later that same year, in 1986, Oladipupo was admitted into the prestigious Ijebu Grammar School, John, the first and oldest secondary school in all of Ijebuland and one of the finest secondary schools in Nigeria till date. Beyond its rigorous academic curriculum, JOCS provided Oladipupo with a solid foundation for academic success, personal growth, and future career opportunities. The school played a pivotal role in shaping him into a well-rounded individual, preparing him not only to excel in academics, but also to make positive contribution to society.
I think it's fair to say that I've known Dipo Ogunlana for a while. At age 11 or 12, we probably got into the Buddha at about the same year, and we were at secondary school together. I remember, I think people's nature, it's always, you see elements of that even when they were young, because Dipo has always been, even at that time, this very cool, calm, collected, and I think the twist with Dipo is that it is possible to get pulled or carried away by people that are calm, that don't talk much, and quiet and all that stuff, but you cannot underestimate Dipo. You underestimate Dipo to your own peril. He has this exceptional quality of being able to be calm and be quiet in the face of storm, with this confidence that, well, there will be calm at some point. So he's the kind of person that will bring calmness to raging storm. I've seen that happen over and over and over again. I mean, in the course of my friendship with him. So we were at the Buddha Grammar School, a very calm, cool, collected guy. And Dipo, quietly as well, was actually one of our best students at that time. I remember very well. I mean, Giwa Grammar School, as you would know, up school, the best school in the whole country, the best secondary school in the whole country, is made up of array of academic giants, I will say, intelligent people. But for Dipo to be able to make his mark and be one of a very good, excellent students at that time shows you the kind of resource that is within there. And it is no surprise that that has taken him, all those kind of qualities, being able to combine calmness, coolness, intelligence, intellect, and toughness. It is no surprise that it's been able to help him and been able to put all that together to harness greater things in life.
Of course, you know the excitement when you mention the name Jobs, Giwa Grammar School, the oldest secondary school in Jebuland, up to today, the best secondary school in Nigeria, up to today, the most interesting school that you ever can find yourself. When I left St. Peter's UNA as a senior prefect, I can say with confidence that about 90% of us actually wanted to attend jobs. But somehow, I was the only one that found myself in jobs. In the whole school, for you to know how competitive it was to attend jobs back then and up to today. We had people from Lagos, from all states of the federation coming to jobs. So I was the only one from my school. So getting to jobs when the list was when the admission list was posted, my father called me and told me that he heard that the list has been posted for admission to jobs. My heart was like pounding. Because you needed to see how we all felt with the admission list of jobs. When I got there and I saw my name on the list, my father gave me money to go and buy fufu that afternoon because I made it to jobs. It's not meeting ever. For you to know how because I come from a family of jobs people. My father went to jobs, my uncles jobs, everyone in my family went to attended jobs. So my father was happy that I was also able. My younger brothers also were jobs people. So we are jobs family, as we call ourselves. So jobs is you honestly cannot exhaust talking about the jobs too. That is where you combine academic achievements, academic prowess with rascality. You cannot go to jobs and not be sound academically. You also cannot exist well in jobs if you don't have some rascality in you. You have to combine, find a midway to exist in jobs. Jobs is where your mates or even your juniors, if you are not careful, will call you and give you a good slap if you don't do your onions. Yeah, jobs is where your mates will send you to go and fetch water if you are not careful. So you need to also have some level of so in those days, jobs was let me set an example that I can't remember. Mr. M. Adidiji, our late principal, at some point, late M. Adidiji, God bless his soul, were on the assembly hall one Monday. And Mr. Adidiji, when you see Mr. Adidiji on the assembly hall with his bunch of cane, full load of cane, and he's fuming when he gets to the assembly hall and saying, SOP 29, fought in the Lord, fought in your name, O Lord, I go. Verses 1 and the last stanza. Once you hear those, you know there is a problem. So Mr. Adedeji, in his usual characteristic manner, came on the assembly hall on this fateful Monday morning and said, of course, what I said. After prayer, deciding he started. And some students, of course, I was in the junior class then, I think class 2, GS2 or something. Some students, during school hours, were seen at one of these motels in Jebu having parties. During school hours, the seniors then. So Mr. Adedeji was calling names. Of course, in jobs, people have campus. Once they call one name, the students will be the one that will call the other names. Shoga Lekuti, that's my very good senior. Once they call Shoga Lekuti, the students by themselves will be calling the names of Shoga Lekuti Akon. Something Okua, everybody. Once you see, you have to choose your campus right in jobs. Once anyone they know with you does or did something that he was going to be punished for, you also cannot escape. Once your friend is called out for something, you also must be part of it. You take your punishment together, you take your praises together in drugs. So you have to admonish yourself that this week, bros, I mean, no, I'm not ready to get any, just let us be able this week. You see things that this just is where I've made 90% of my friends, then up to today. Jokes is where you cannot see a jokes boy that 50% or more than 50% of his friends today will not be his mates at jokes. If you tell me to list 10 of my best friends today, I probably will list 8 of my jokes guys. And this is how it is with every jokes boy. You can go and find out. You can go and find out. We were taught to be together, we were taught to be our brothers keepers, we were taught to study together, because you also cannot afford not to study in jobs. I was the head boy where I was coming from. When I go to jobs, we were the first set of this zero time when it changed to GSS 6334 or 6334 system. I was the head boy of my primary school. My first time in jobs, let me tell you my position, 93. I was 93 position. I was first position where I was going for. My first result in jokes, I was 93rd position. I couldn't take it home. When I got home and my father got the result, apparently we were looking at positions. My father looked at my courses subject by subject, and he shook me and said, "Oh, you tried." It was after then I later had to go and check that the list of the score I got was 72. I got 80, 74. I got a lot of 70, 70. Apparently people got 90. So I was 93 position for you to know how competitive it was. So jokes shaped me. And the school till today still shapes people. Jokes is where I owe 90% of what I have today in terms of discipline, in terms of achievement, academic, in terms of talk about it. Jokes is a home for me. Jokes is a home for a lot of us that attended the school. Jokes is also part of the Ionian Brotherhood. We were privileged to experience that in our year 1, 1986, when we had the first Ionian that was held in jokes when we admitted into the school. Ionian, of course, is made up of schools in the western region of Nigeria, and up to today they still have that. And in jokes, we had teachers who were committed. We had teachers who would not mind who you are, who would not mind. Your teachers will give you 0 if you don't, no matter what you write, if you don't write. I don't understand. The grading system in jokes differ from every other place. Your teachers in jokes will tell us, it doesn't matter how many papers, how many sheets, if you are not hitting on the point, that's why you need to read extra in jokes. I compare my notes in jokes because I also attended after school classes, and when I compare my study notes in jokes to my friends from other school, I was like, it's the same thing you're waiting that the teacher gave you 10/10. My teacher in jokes gave me 2/10. And you know, these are the kind of things that encourage us to, or that suggested to us that you cannot just afford to study on the surface in jokes. You needed to study deeply. So that's why result in jokes is always 99% pass. You cannot get it wrong attending jokes. There's this song that was composed by one of the very good old boys of jokes. Like, àtijọ́ táláyé ti dáyé kò sọ́mọ jokes tó ṣorí burúkú, and that is how it is. Do your survey, we are good people of jokes, and we have very notable people in jokes, of course. The whiskey, Daniel Balogun was the jokes boy. Professor Adebayo Adedeji. See a whole lot about jokes I will talk about. So my friendship, the bulk of the people that will be listening to me as I speak to you, are my friends in jokes. So we are still friends up to today. We are very fond of ourselves, and we are very fond of the school that made us, and we always be.
After graduating from Ijebu Grammar School with flying colors in 1992, young Oladipupo proceeded to the State Polytechnic, Ilaro, where he studied accounting at the OND level, graduating with an upper credit. However, tragedy struck in 1995 when his father passed away. The loss felt like the world had crumbled beneath him. His father was laid to rest on March 31, 1995, and the family entered a new phase filled with overwhelming challenges. Despite the emotional turmoil, Oladipupo and his immediate family had to adjust quickly. The experience was deeply traumatic as he had just completed his OND and was on the verge of being admitted into the State University, OSU, now Olabisi Onabanjo University at Goiwe. At only 20 years old, Oladipupo found himself facing struggles that would shape the course of his life from that point forward.
Let's be Sergeant Giwa Dipo Olubola Ogunlana, who happened to be our father, died on a Monday morning, 23rd March 1995. Myself and Oladipupo was the only person at home on that day because he had just finished his ONG. Our mommy's job was downstairs, we were living upstairs. On that Monday morning, life turned out to be something else for us because we don't believe that he's going to die on that day. We were there in the morning, it's a civil servant. He was preparing to go to office when he just said, "I'm tired, I won't go today." And my mom said, "Go and sit down, go and rest." That is the end. And that's the only thing that we had from him. He went inside, slept. That is how he went up. By the time we are going to check him inside, he had died. Life now became something else for us.
Johnson Olubola Ogunlana. My father, I've never seen a father like my father. My father was a churchman. My father was a family man. My father was a very senior civil service in the Ogun State Local Government Service Commission. My father was a provider. Of all of the years that I went to school before he passed, there was never a time my school fees was not paid before we resumed school. My list of books, every book on the list of books that we had back then, every book, the one we needed, the one I didn't have any reason to buy, my father would go to Bunde bookshop or Talamoni bookshop. Those are the places in Jebuli to buy all the books before we resumed school. My father unfortunately passed like 4 months to his retirement, but I tell you, he lived well. I don't know how to describe my father without being emotional, because I really wish he's sitting down to hear me talk about him today. My father never, for once, raised his hand. My father never had a game to hit any one of us. My father will call you, my father will talk to you, my father will advise you, he will admonish you, he will compare things for you and let you take your decision. My father actually lived ahead of his time. He was a man that was full of life. My father was very humble. My father was humility personified. My father could sit in a place for 10 hours. Once he has his newspaper or whatever it is, if you want to jump from heaven to earth, he doesn't care. My father will not compare. My father lived his life on his own times. He lived far beyond his time. I wish he's alive today, like I said. My father gave thousands of people or dozens of people jobs that up to today, sometimes I go to places in Ijebu and I remember when we started this Egbepo Babaigun Ashua, and somebody saw me at the Amjad's Palace. I was asking my name. I told him, I was like, "Oh, are you so person?" I said, "Yes." And the man just walked away. I saw it was very emotional for that old man. That was my father. My father would not hurt a fly. My father was everything for my mom, for us, the children, for the community. He was a community man. My father was the pastor's warden at our home church, St. Philip's Anglican Church in Chicago. My father would leave with a whole day for parish council's meeting in Soyabo after work on almost 2 times a week. My father would attend services at 9 and finish in Soyabo. My father would attend parish council's meeting at Bishop's Court and the Cathedral of St. Savior. He gave everything that he had to God. My father lived well, and sometimes things happen to me that I know or that I probably thought would have been some of the benefits of what my father did for God. Today, I remember him with so much fond memories, and I pray that his soul continue to rest in perfect peace. Thank you so much, Papa Johnson Olubola Ogunlana, for what you did for me and my siblings. We are eternally grateful for having you as our father, and your memories will continue to linger for as long as we live.
At Olabisi Onabanjo University, Agoiwoye, Oladipupo pursued a degree in business administration, graduating with a second-class upper. During his time at OSU, he made many lasting friendships. Dipo quickly became engaged in critical thinking, which stimulated his intellectual curiosity and fostered an environment that encouraged him to question, explore, and analyze. This environment helped him develop the cognitive abilities necessary for success in both higher education and the workforce. He also became an active participant in civic activities, which sparked his ongoing passion for volunteer work and philanthropy. Beyond the classroom, the experiences at OSU provided Oladipupo with a foundation for academic success, personal growth, and future career opportunities. The university played a key role in nurturing him into a well-rounded individual, preparing him not only to excel academically, but also to make a positive contribution to society.
I was admitted into OSU in 1995. I studied business administration, and quite a number of my friends in OSU will testify to the fact that I was able to manage myself, manage my time, and manage my skills in OSU. I was on the academic side. I was also on the social side. I was made the chairman of the Business Administration Student Association dinner in 1998. We had an event at the Gateway Hotel in Kipuli. And one incident in OSU that will always be in my memory is the event that happened on October 16th, 1998. My final exam in OSU was meant to start October 23rd, so it was like a week to the final exam. This incident that had my hand, you notice I had some cuts in my hands, my head, and all of that. Let me say clearly that incident was the only incident that made me I had a sleepover in an hospital. I never, since I was born, and before this incident, had any reason to sleep in an hospital. And up to today, I'm not sure I spent a night on the hospital bed aside from this incident. Or we were at home sleeping when we had a bang on our door, and some guys came into our room and started cutting myself and my good friend going on with you. It was a very nasty experience because some people thought I was dead. So we were in the hospital I was in the hospital for a month. I had to go with the ambulance, with the police escort, from the hospital to write my exam in OSU back to the hospital. And why I'm pointing that out is after then a lot of narrations were given about what happened, and I want to actually set the record straight today at 50 that I would never be part of anything that warrant such. I went to school to study, and that was the only thing that I did in school. I don't want to mention something that I'm sure you understand what I mean, that I was never part of anything. It was just a coincidence people that they were looking for, it was a misplaced identity or misidentity. And after then, the guy that they were looking for actually came to apologize to me and explain what happened. He was actually in my house before that incident, and little did they know that he already left for an event before they invaded our room. Thank God we are alive today. My friend Wiga Goofy and I, it was an experience that will forever be in my memory. The course that I have today, I have almost 12 courses on this hand, that I'm here today talking to you or celebrating 50. I think I should celebrate because that I'm living today is just by the special grace of God. So back to Osu. Osu was where I was molded. Osu was where I learned the act of leading rigorously, because in Osu the situation then was not as good as it is today. That was the year that we moved to the permanent side, where when you go to school with a shirt, you almost will not be able to wear the shirt again because of the dust in on the permanent side. Well, I thank God that the school is waxing stronger, and we, after leaving Osu, we are also doing things that everyone is proud of. So I thank God that I went to that school, and I will always share or have the memories, very good memories of the State University, now Oladipupo Olubola University.
After earning his degree from Oladipupo Olubola University, Dipo completed his mandatory National Youth Service Corps program at the United Bank for Africa headquarters, located at 57 Marina Street, Lagos. His outstanding performance during the service year earned him a retention at UBA, where he contributed significantly for 4 remarkable years. Pursuing further education, Dipo later obtained an MBA from Ladoke Akintola University of Technology in Ogbomoso.
I'm happy today to be saying a few things about Dipo. Giwa Dipo Olubola. I met Dipo about in the year 2000, 2001. Then he was a young man, recently out of university and joined UBA. Even though Dipo never worked directly with me, he was one of the small group of young men that I took under my wings, and we had fantastic time together, mentoring and being mentored, and we developed a very close relationship since then that has lasted the decades. And I'm very glad to see how he has evolved in his professional career, with family, and whatnot. There's so much to say about the old days. I used to keep them up late in the office, all the things all the adventures we came up with, and so on and so forth. Fantastic memories that we still like to relish now from time to time.
In March 2004, Oladipupo transitioned from the UBA headquarters to Fame Bank, now FCMB, located on Ajose Adeogun Street, Victoria Island, where he assumed the role of Senior Banking Officer in the Commercial Banking Group.
I met him some years ago while we were colleagues at NUB International Bank, which later became FinBank, which later became FCMB. Dipo is a very jovial person, very easy to work with, very friendly, very adaptable, and these attributes made him one of my very prized staff, because working with him made our job very easy. This message is to wish him happy birthday, to commend him for how he has evolved over the years, because when I met Dipo, he wasn't yet married, but he was very into his wife, and I remember that Madame used to call like almost every day, monitoring her investments. And I remember those days when she called on the office line, we would tease her and all that, and tease both of them. I'm very happy to see how Dipo has evolved in life, a husband, a father, and somebody who has, become a contributor to society. I remember then he used to talk a lot about Ijebu, and I mean, I got to know through him. I'm not Yoruba, but through him, I got to know a lot about Ijebu, the FCMB guy who, Baba Shubumi, and all those things. He used to share a lot of anecdotes about, life in Ijebu and all that.
In May 2006, Dipo joined EcoBank PLC to take on the role of Assistant Bank Manager. He excelled in this position until 2008 when he moved to Stanbic IBTC, where he advanced to become Manager of Corporate and Multinational Transactional Banking Services.
Myself and Dipo met in 2008 at Stanbic IBTC when we joined the bank. I think Dipo joined shortly after me, and from that moment we struck a friendship, a bond, and we have become friends and brothers. Dipo Ogunlana is a dependable individual, trusted, and someone you can go to bed knowing the fact that you have his back.
We ended up in the same banking industry after uni, and his exploit, his wins, as we call it, is a testament to how tough it could be. Because at that time, I think banking is slightly different now, but at that time, it was survival of the fittest in that industry. And for Dipo to be able to make his mark, I think I was a standard first at that time, and he went to UBA and EcoBank and all those places. And of course, you know yourself in the industry, you know the people that are actually making the mark, and Dipo was one of them.
In 2011, Dipo left Stanbic IBTC to establish and manage his own company, Davisol Global Investments Limited, which he continues to run to date. The company operates in the hospitality industry and also specializes in the supply of iron rods to multinational corporations.
Davisol, is a company that actually doing well. He supplies all the building materials, all the construction materials, reinforcement, cement, and some other materials that we actually need in our site. And let me say this, Davisol is a reliable company. Davisol is a company that you can partner with, a company that you can work with. All the time Mr. Dipo work with us, he has never indebted us. He has never made us to complain about him supply or not supply. He supply promptly. Even when we give him, a order, that worth, billions, this guy perform. In fact, he performs surprisingly. He makes sure that nothing, delayed, nothing, affected. He makes sure that everything is getting to the site on time. So Mr. Dipo has a very good heart towards work, and he makes sure that everything is going perfectly. He has workers that are working with him that are doing, perfectly. Some of his styles are doing perfectly, they are doing great, and they are doing nice. And anytime we ask them to do something, before you know, they have not taken the material to the site, and they are not delaying things, they are not delaying anything. I want to say that Davisol is a company that you can actually work with. Let me say that if I have the intention of working with them, I can vow for Mr. Dipo that God has helped me in that area. When I saw there's one advert sometimes about venturing into real estate. Of course, having apartments and all that is something that's a something of credibility, because Mr. Dipo is an efficient and a very hardworking man. He doesn't play with his work. He doesn't play with his anything that has to do with his business. He takes his business priority. He makes sure that everything is going fine. Mr. Dipo will never fail you when it comes to business. He will not disappoint you when it comes to business. He will not post you when it comes to business. He makes sure that he does his everything perfectly.
Driven by his ambition to succeed and create a better life for himself, he then traveled to the United States to further his studies. His decision to pursue education in the US was fueled by his desire to seize every opportunity for personal and professional growth, as he sought to build a successful career and explore the vast potential America had to offer. Oladipupo holds a master's degree in social work from Walden University, Minneapolis, Minnesota, USA. After completing his MSW, he successfully passed the professional board exam to become a licensed therapist in the United States. Currently, he is a practicing psychotherapist licensed in Washington, D.C. and the state of Maryland. Beyond his therapy practice, Oladipupo has pursued a range of educational and professional certifications. He is a certified information systems auditor and a certified information systems manager. Prior to transitioning fully into therapy and the medical field, he had an extensive career in information technology. Oladipupo is currently enrolled in a doctorate degree program in social work, specializing in advanced clinical practice and supervision. His diverse qualifications and experiences highlight his commitment to continuous learning and professional development.
Shortly before I came into this country, Dipo and I met at a party somewhere on the island. I remember very well. He knows whatever happened after the party anyway, or during the party. But I didn't tell him I was coming to the States. So he came in, he didn't tell me I was coming to the States as well. And as God will have it, the night I came into the state, Maryland, and I stepped into the house I was meant to stay, lo and behold, the person that came out of the room was Dipo. And we both burst into laughter. Say, oh, so you were coming here. Oh, you were also coming here. And you know, that ignited that stronger bond. That night, we talked all through the night. We couldn't even sleep. And then the next morning, we got into business. Now we're here. What do we do? What is happening? How do we navigate the system? We talked about it. We started making calls. He had even more contacts than I had then. So we started making calls, running up and down. What can we do? We had a car, thank God to his cousin that we stayed with. We had a car that we could push around, even though we didn't know where anywhere. But we knew we had the GPS. And we started all like that. Started making contacts and everything, looking for what to do. Spoke to a few people. And then, you know, when you come into a new country, people give you different ideas and everything. It's up to you to decide what you want to do. So he opted for, you know, the IT. I said, oh, why are you going into that? That's starting from the top there. He said, okay, but that's the generation we are now. The IT world. I said, all right, God bless you. You go ahead. So I went into something else. I don't want to mention that, but I will end up mentioning that anyway. You know, I got a job somewhere in the cold room, Lancaster. Whoever hears that knows what I'm talking about. Those that live in Maryland anyway. So I got into Lancaster, which was a cold room job then I was doing. I was the first person in the United States. But where I lived was like 15 minutes to where I work from. There was no vehicle, no car, nothing to navigate, except the one Dipo and I shared. So I would have to wake him up in the morning. He would take me down to the place about 15 minutes drive, and as soon as I get off, very late at night, he will come back and pick me up. Sometimes when he can't pick me up, I'll find my way to halfway of the journey, and then he comes there because I wake him up very early in the morning. Very early, 3, 4 a.m. to come and pick me up. Who does that? Who does that from sleep? But then, he did that a couple of times. So, you know, I balanced and started getting my feet on the ground. And then we pushed on again. What is the next stage? He went into IT, like I said, Epic and the rest of it. He was now moving around the United States, enjoying himself and everything. He met a lot of people out there. We always talk about it, you know. Quite a few people came in to see us, you know, to tell us what to do, this and that. But surprisingly, he knew where he was going. After then, he left the IT, the Epic, which he was doing. He went to cybersecurity. He asked me to come join him, but my head just couldn't pick up all of that. I tried though, I couldn't get that. He went into that, conquered that, and then next thing, what next again? He felt that was too competitive. Maybe that was why I thought it was too competitive. And then we sat down one day and he was talking, is there anything else we can do again? That people are not really looking into that. I said, what? We're coming in here newly. Can we invent something else that nobody else knows? He went and did his investigation, findings and everything. I said, okay, I'm going for this. Went into the mental health. And we all know what mental health services is here in the United States. It's all over the place, but it's a very, very important area, very, very, very sensitive area of occupation in the United States. We got into the social security and support work and everything. He was enjoying it, he was doing well. He invited me again to come in and join him there. We did that. Meanwhile, whilst we were doing all of this, we never forgot about partying. We never forgot about our social life. We were everywhere. You know. He was so committed, dedicated. He was dealing with his whatever, holding them. I still working with them. At the same time, holding his home front and everything. Everything was going simultaneously. And all of a sudden, he said, okay, come join me in this support work, social community support work, which I joined him as well. After some time, he left the place, moved on to another agency and another agency and another agency. And then he thought of getting more, moving up again in that field. He went ahead and did his master's in social work. He came out and sat for the board exams. Lo and behold, one time he made it. Passed it just one time at one attempt. Not too many people do that. Not too many people.
It seemed like yesterday, but hey, it was 26 years ago when we met in UBA House, Marina, Lagos. As you know, we got hired on the same day to work in corporate banking, 14th floor, UBA House in Marina. Ever since then, we have remained good friends, families integrated. Danny, I'm also recognizing you today on this 50th birthday of your husband. Tenny, Mofe, Tenny Sola, happy 50th birthday to your dad. As you all know, you got a real good, wonderful husband and dad, a smart gentleman who has always been at the top of his class, going back to business administration in Osu, Ogun State, Nigeria, and also doing his master's MBA in Lagos. Since he got to the States, Dipo remained to be on the good path in academics. He's a qualified therapist in the state of Maryland and presently going through his PhD. Dipo, just continue. The sky is just the beginning for you, as you always, the story of your life has been. So continue being a good gentleman, continue being very friendly to everybody around you. And I know the next 50 years and beyond is even going to be greater to you, my brother.
Today, Giwa Oladipupo Olubola Ogunlana's success spans multiple fields, where he has become an advocate for social change, a mentor to many, and a true trailblazer in his community. His journey, filled with both triumphs and challenges, is a story of resilience and vision.
I met Dipo 2008 at Standing. Honestly, how we got connected, I cannot remember again. But one thing that I was able to take out of the few moments that I spent in Standing was Dipo became the only one of the friends that I can call a friend, a confidant. To describe Dipo is someone that when you have an issue, your issue becomes Dipo's issue. Dipo will do everything humanly possible to get you out of that. Besides, there's one thing that strikes me more about him. When it comes to giving, Dipo is a giver. I remember when I had this show, one of the things that Dipo did was to stand by me throughout that period. There was never a time that I called on Dipo that I won't answer. Even when I expect that he was going to be tired of me, he was never. And today, I honestly cannot, I'm looking for the right word now. I don't have the right words to describe this man that is celebrating his birthday today. He's very humble. He's very, when at Stanbic, he was very dedicated to his work. He was the sector leader, all right, and in Stanbic. The way he carried Stanbic work, Stanbic advocacy work at that point in time, you will think that it's his own personal job. And that is the reflection you are seeing in him today, even in his own personal career, in his own personal business. That is why you think that he's doing the things that you can ordinarily describe as impossible. In this dictionary, there is nothing that is impossible. All right. If you want to go after anything, business, career, you pursue it. And that is one of the things that you will see. Even when he got to US, somebody that had no IT background, he was able to switch. And today, he's an IT consultant. Okay, somebody that did business administration while in school, and all his life, a banker, and he was able to switch. So, let's give it to him.
Oladipupo is part of a close-knit family with 4 siblings. His older sisters are Folashade and Olubumi, and his younger brothers Ayodele and Oluwaseun. On August 20, 2005, he married Princess Oyindamola Ogunlana ni Olagunju from Ede in Osun State. The marriage ceremony was held at the ancient city of Ibadan. Their union has been blessed with 3 wonderful children, Michelle, David, and Mabel, forming a loving and supportive family.
Oladipupo Olubola Ogunlana, my dearest husband. The journey so far has been so awesome with you. I thank God for crossing our paths. You have been the best of the best of the best one can ever wish for. I thank God for the day we met. The journey started when I came to Lagos. I was having my youth corps with the call, and I was staying with my brother. So on that day, he just came in the car with it was 5 of them in the car. It was this. If I describe the car to you, you all laugh, right? Is this one car like that? Like 5 of them were there. I was like, what are this? So I was sitting with my brother and a friend. They were having their master's degree in the University of Lagos, and they all came to the house. So apparently I was coming out of the company, just came to meet me. Hi babe, what's up? What's up? We just talked, and there was no phone then. That was year 2000. Phone was just coming out, and there was no form of communication. So the next time I was going to meet him was at UBA house. We just went in the elevator. It's like, you, what are you doing? I said, you, what are you doing here? I said, oh, I work here. I said, okay, I'm serving here. So I was on the 14th floor in financial control. He works on the 16th floor in the corporate banking. So I was serving in UBA house. That was the second time we met. So at that time, then when I was going for my ICANN classes, he used to go and drop me in Maryland in ICANN classes. I'd be like, okay. So like that we went. So the third time I was going to meet him was with I was at my friend's place in Ogba, and his cousin, Ogbala Daisy, he was with us. So we were just chatting, and all of us were chatting, and he just drove past. And Ogbala was like, oh, that's my cousin. I was like, oh, who is that? So he just parked and he came up, oh, there it is again. That's it. So that's how the journey started. After that, which I relocated to the US and all that, we started chatting. And like, hey, this girl, if you don't marry me, that's my wife. That means I've missed my life. That's you must marry me. That's it. And in 2005, August 15, was my birthday, August 20, we got married. And since then, it's been awesome. God has been so faithful. You know, when you do that, you married your own man. You married your own husband. I always tell my friends, few of them have people talk like, I say, one thing I always bless God for is I thank God for giving me my own bone of bone. You know, when you know that, oh, this is the bone where you are created from. And Oladipupo is a very calm, very gentle, very intelligent, God-fearing, very good. Not to me alone, not to the kids, not to his siblings alone, to everybody at large. He is very passionate about people. I always tell him, sometimes because I always tell him, oh babe, you cannot think like the way you're thinking or the more you can do for people, that's how, because you are so passionate about people. A lot of people say, oh, that means you're trying. Believe me, my husband is more passionate about people than me. I know what he tells me. I know what he even always think about how people want to be. So I'm so blessed to have you, Oladipupo. You have been a pillar of support. You have been my loving husband. You're the father of my children. You are the children. They always, you know, some people are like, mom, this one in our home is Abba. Everybody that did want me. He's very caring. He takes all the kids to school. A lot of things he does for me that I can't even say, you know, you have been a good husband, you have been a good father, and I pray my God will continue to bless you, God will continue to strengthen you. You know, through it all, there are some things that happens, like you be like, oh yeah, you know, there's never in a marriage, there's a point you be like, oh, this thing, but the way he will always stand by me, my husband, I will always love you and love you and love you till eternity. You are the best husband one can ever think of. The children are saying thank you, daddy, for everything you do. What about Tenola Michelle saying thank you, daddy? Even my friend David is saying thank you, daddy, and what Salam Baby and say thank you, daddy. Your wife, the wife of your youth, and I will be your wife to eternity. I'm saying thank you, daddy. Thank you for who you are, for what you have done, for what you're doing, and for what you're going to do. You are the best and you continue to be the best. We love you.
The relationship between myself and Dipo transcends beyond being an in-law. He's my real brother. And he's been able to end this because of his attitude. Dipo is a loving man, and he takes everything about his family to his heart. As we all know, he is a pudgy man, but nevertheless, no matter what he's doing or wherever he wants to go, he puts his family first. So that aspect which I so much appreciate about him, and at the same time, he is a goal-getter. Whatever he desires in his heart, he puts all his resources, energy, time, and all it takes in order for him to accomplish his dreams. I'm so happy at the level the Lord has taken him to. I'm happy with him at the way he's taking good care of his family.
I think the most important thing, probably what I would consider the most important quality of Dipo is his commitment to his family, the sacrifice to his family, some of which I probably will not want to talk about online. And I think being in the US is one of them. It's a big sacrifice to be able to have a fledgling career, but the ability to put your family first, the way his relationship with Onida, his wife, it's appealing. It's something that I'm personally and particularly, like and happy about, because Dipo is able to put his family first, basically, and the result of that is the success and the high level of success he's been able to attain is a testament to that. And people love Dipo. Just let Dipo go to Ijebu, then you see people, natural warmth, the kind of affection, kind of natural affection that people have for Dipo is infectious. And I've seen people trying to buy favors, trying to make themselves feel more than what they are. Dipo does not need to do that. You just calmly, respect everybody. You respect everybody, and people love him in return. People love Dipo in return. All the different, I'll say, spectrum of friends, different groups of friends, whether from the Jugs alumni group or from the business community, the banking community, the finance community, then the Regbe, some other charity that would belong together. Dipo is like a unifying line of calmness and togetherness. He's able to bring everything together. You can see his calmness and the affection that people have for Dipo across all those spectrums. I think it's a mark, basically. So I think my message would be that God has already made you a leader, a successful man, successful in terms of life and family, because that's most important. And not even about money now, but again, Dipo holds this down. But Dipo is a quiet achiever. The kind of things I'm privy to, that I know Dipo, God has blessed Dipo with materially. A lot of people, if they have half of that, will be all over, everywhere wanting to work. Dipo is able to keep cool, despite God's kindness in terms of affluence for him. And again, I cannot end without mentioning success as a father, as a husband, as a friend, as a brother. And like I say, Dipo is my friend in all seasons. Life will put things that will not be at the same place at the same time all the time. But Dipo is one of those people that you don't speak to in 6 months. You pick up the call, you just pick it up, and from there, and there's no air of jealousy or air of envy. It's just good vibes. Dipo have good vibes. He stays away from drama, stay away from unnecessary, hassle. He's not cantankerous in any way. He'd rather just walk away and be quiet rather than having confrontation. I think that's really helped and worked out for him.
In 2016, Dipo was unanimously elected as the Giwa Dipo Olubola Ogunlana Aṣíwájú Akilẹ̀ Ìjẹ̀bú, a prestigious title reflecting his leadership and dedication to community development. He was officially installed in this esteemed position by the paramount ruler and Awujale of Ijebuland, Oba Dr. Sikiru Kayode Adetono Ogbagbatu, on May 6, 2017. This honor underscores his significant contributions to the Ijebu community and his commitment to upholding its traditions and values.
Giwa Dipo Olubola Ogunlana. Although Oba wa nínú ẹgbẹ́ bọ́bọ́ máyégún ọkùnrin aṣáájú Akilẹ̀ Ìjẹ̀bú. Giwa nígbà tí a máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹgbẹ́ yìí, èmi ni pioneer coordinator ń gbà yẹn. So we started ní Equity Resort Hotel, ibẹ̀ láti máa ń ṣe meeting gbà yẹn every month. Now nígbà tí a máa wù pé wọ́n láti ṣe election into the major position ẹgbẹ́, that is the leadership of ẹgbẹ́, which is the GIC, comprises of just 3 members, Giwa Dipo Ogunlana, myself, and Giwa Dipo Olubola. So nígbà tí a máa ṣe election yìí, the election was done online and equally physical at Equity Hotel. So everybody was like, it was a unanimous decision. Nígbà tí a máa ṣe election yìí, another person tí wọ́n wò pé
ó lè tẹ́nìkan nominate pé kó ṣe Giwa gbà yẹn ẹni yẹn succeeded in having just single vote nìyẹn so Giwa Dipo Ogunlana emerged Giwa unanimously. So the quality people see in him is more. So he's the kind of person to say pé ó máa ń pẹ̀tù sí ọ̀rọ̀ tí ọ̀rọ̀ bá dàbí pé ó ti ń ga jù nínú ẹgbẹ́. So àwọn èèyàn rí that quality in him pé this one ó máa jẹ́ a very good leader. So nígbà tá a ṣe election yẹn tán then a bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní make move fún our royal recognition by His Royal Majesty Ogbagba II Ọba Dr. Sikiru Kayode Adetona fún royal recognition. Then at the royal recognition the installation was in fact very big, talk of the town nígbà yẹn. So Giwa láti 6th of June 2017 ní Royal recognition. So he has been the number one arrow in ẹgbẹ́. So everyone try to cool everybody joy. It's been the leadership skill is next to nothing as a matter of fact, because when Giwa comes to the platform tó bá ti lè kọ ọ̀rọ̀ báyìí wọ́n máa wò pé everybody máa cool down. Fifty years ṣeré nínú ẹgbẹ́ yẹn as a head he doesn't cook, he máa fake anything disturb CSR wa that is touching life in the community. So if àwọn èèyàn wa ní community yẹn the very first one backpack for our students, about 500 students were given backpacks, writing materials and other materials like that to aid the education. He was one of them to sponsor that program that time, coupled with other members of Great Egbe. Now lẹ́yìn yẹn a tún wò pé this CSR we need to move ahead. Not just we can ṣe. His idea then was equally to go give back to our primary school side. So how we junior school from primary 1 to JS3 we come to run uniform across Ijebu land. Not this time around, it's not about Ijebu. That Great Egbe is about Ijebu land. Ijebu land, the only Ijebu land, being Raymond, being Ijebu, down to Waterside, we are together. And we have different ships there. So the idea was sold by the idea at the beginning. I want me to do that idea. We were in America when they contact me. We should coordinate this thing in Nigeria. Nígbà yẹn àwọn Ọ̀túnba Ayọ̀délé Ọ̀ṣínṣóyà Túwáríadé dẹ́nẹ̀ olú ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ wa Surajudeen Ajíṣebútú, but they were actually working together. So in fact the idea was in fact very great. Giwa bó ṣe ń kó wa jẹ everybody actually amazed. So he's always there if you want to talk to a leader. Giwa is always there for you. Tó bá fẹ́ bá sọ̀rọ̀, he will give you that listening ear. This is the way. At times àwọn èèyàn máa wo nǹkan in one direction. So by the time he give us his own idea, why don't let us go in this way? So at the end of the day, everybody will see that is fantastic. So let us do his way. So he has always been so wonderful. On no account should anybody wípé ó wà faulty nígbà gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tó wá ń ṣe. But as a matter of fact, Giwa he has been so wonderful. The Giwa of Egbe till date, he has been so wonderful. I can tell you, it's a model Giwa in Ijebu land. It's a model Giwa. Everybody wants to know him. Everybody wants to meet him.
I think it's fair to talk a little about Bob Amayego, how Bob came the Giwa of Bob Amayego. It must have been around 2011 that in my interaction with some elderly people at that time that they were talking to me about Egbe and all that stuff. And I called Dipo, like, please, Dipo, I saw your picture. No, that was, 2009, not 2011. That was around 2009. Long before Bob Amayego, some 6 years before Bob Amayego. And I saw Dipo's picture in one of the local magazines then, I don't know which one. And they were putting they were to be putting up a group at that time. And I called people, I said, see, you just add my name when you started. And that was it. Then, Obama even happened. And I think one thing that I don't know if it's ever happened in the history of Reggae in Ijebuland is that right from the onset, it was this, everybody just wanted Dipo to be Giwa. It was the most unanimous decision ever. It wasn't as if his name was on any ballot at that time, but everybody just wanted Dipo as Giwa. And I think it's the qualities that endeared him to people has proven over time to be right, basically. Because I mean, Dipo is, I call him the gentle stone, because that's truly who he is. It's impossible to gather and be the leader of almost 300 grown men, your age mates, with people with different visions, different ideologies, you know, and be able to put all that together. Dipo, it's calm in the face of what I would call intense provocation. That I'm not sure many of us will not probably react negatively to, but Dipo has this exceptional ability to be able to keep calm, take input from all sides, and be able to make, you know, to find a center point for all people. And I think that's an exceptional quality of a leader, and I think it's something for all of us that we can emulate from Dipo. It just comes naturally to him, and no matter how raging the entire environment is, Dipo will come and send his long messages, and it will be like pouring rainwater on a raging fire, and everything will just calm. So again, his quality speaks for itself.
Ìmáyégún pígbà ó pígbà, ìmáyégún pígbà síwájú àwa alàgbà o. Ìmáyégún pígbà, ìmáyégún pígbà síwájú àwa alàgbà o. Àwa lòṣùpá ìlú kò síbi tá ò tán dé. Àwa lòṣùpá ìlú à ń tàn kárí ayé o. Ìmáyégún pígbà, ìmáyégún pígbà síwájú àwa alàgbà o. Fẹ́nìkan pé ká má rìn Àwùjalẹ̀ àfojú ẹ̀ rí màbo. Fẹ́nìkan pé ká má rìn Ọbaládé. Fẹ́nìkan pé ká má rìn Àwùjalẹ̀ àfojú ẹ̀ rí màbo. Tó o bá ṣẹ̀wọ̀n nílẹ̀ yìí o, a tún lọ ṣe l'Àbújá. Tó o bá ṣẹ̀wọ̀n nílẹ̀ yìí o, a tún lọ ṣe lòkè òkun o. Ìmáyégún pígbà, ìmáyégún pígbà síwájú àwa alàgbà o. Sàmọ́sángùdù, gùdù, 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 sàmọ́sángùdù, Giwa, sàmọ́sángùdù, sàmọ́sángùdù, gùdù, 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 sàmọ́sángùdù. Bọ́bá máyégún agúnrẹ́ ni o.
Dipo is a fellow of the Applied Information Professionals of Nigeria and an active member of several esteemed organizations. He is a member of the Rotary Club of Anthony Golden, Anthony Village, Lagos, and the prestigious Giwa Club. He served as president of the Youth Christian Charity Band of Emmanuel Church, Italupe, for many years, and as president of the Men's Fellowship at RCCG Rivers of Joy Parish, Maryland, Lagos, from 2015 to 2018. Dipo is also a member of Fountain of Hope International at Emmanuel Anglican Church, Italupe, and a past president of Jogzoba 8692 set. He is an active member of the Jebu Chamber of Commerce, Mines and Agriculture. Additionally, he is part of the Ark Bearers also known as the Pillars, the Men's Fellowship at RCCG Rivers of Life Parish, Riverdale, Maryland, USA.
I reflect on the incredible man you have become. A man whose deep love for family, kindness, and unwavering commitment to everyone around you truly make you a special man. Growing up together, we were blessed to be raised by wonderful parents, especially our father, who was a devout Christian, a model family man. Though he passed away 30 years ago when we were still very young, his legacy still lives in us till today. Our father believed in the power of family, always reaching out to his siblings, even when communication was not as easy as it is today. Love, sacrifice, kindness, commitment, and strong family bonds were his legacies and family values. Today, as I reflect on this, I can see clearly that my brother is an embodiment of these values. He's a family man. He puts family first always. He's a man with a heart of love and kindness, always ready to listen to you, always ready to support and encourage you. He calls everyone on a regular basis, no matter how busy he is, just to ensure that no one is left alone. He's a selfless man. He's a man with a heart of gold. He's an amazing husband and a loving father to his children. They mean the world to him. And every opportunity he has, is always ready to make them comfortable and happy.
Calling Giwa Dipo He's a very fantastic person, a social life, and an astute businessman. Giwa is a very reliable ally, any day, anytime.
àti wòye pé bóyá bó ṣe di aráàlú òyìnbó kò ní rántí wa nílé mọ́ ni dípò ń padà wálé o dípò ń padà wálé o in fact níṣẹ́ ló tún jẹ́ pé lára development strike tá à ń ṣe ní ìlú dípò ń dà sí ẹ lè wò pé ní ọdọọdún tó bá ti lè wá sílé táwọn ẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀ tí wọ́n bá ti wá sílé pẹ́ẹ́nẹ́pẹ́ àwọn wá ṣe ojúdọ̀ba níjẹ̀bọ́dé dípò máa tún fi owó aṣọ ránṣẹ́ sí àwọn opó ní ìlú àníbálẹ̀ ẹ̀ bá mi fún wọn kó má bínú sí ẹ ṣe o. ní ìsànyà ògbó ilé wọn ò ṣe fọwọ́ rọ́ gbogbo wọn pátá nídìílé wọn ni wọ́n ṣoríire dípò wá jẹ́ ẹni tó yẹ pé ní ọ̀dọ̀ wa ní àsìkò títí tèmi ó jẹ́ ẹni tó ń dúró tìlú ó ń ṣe dáadáa sílùú. ìyàwó Dípò òun ló tún wá jẹ́ ìyá ẹgbẹ́ àwọn obìnrin ìsànyà ògbó association tó yẹ pé lọ́dọọdún ó máa ń ṣe empowerment fún àwọn obìnrin owó aṣọ gift bó ṣe máa ń ṣe nìyẹn. ẹni tọ́lọ́run bá ti fi nǹkan rán látọ̀run wá níṣẹ́ ló máa ń jẹ́ ìrọ̀rùn ní gbogbo nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn máa ń bá dé lọ́dọ̀ Dípò àti ìyàwó ẹ̀. láìpẹ́ yìí ni Dípò tó wálé tó wá ṣe ayẹyẹ ti ẹ̀gbọ́n wọn tó ṣe retirement. Dípò tó wá sáàárín ìlú ó tún fáwọn èèyàn lówó ó tún dáwọn èèyàn lọ́lá tí ò tiẹ̀ rò àti máa wá sí ilé ìrọ̀rùn ló máa ń jẹ́ fún inú àwọn àgbàlagbà máa ń dùn tó bá ti dé sí Nàìjíríà àgàgà tó bá ti wá sí ìlú ìsànyà ògbó inú wọn máa ń dùn ní. ṣé rí bíbí ire ò ṣe fowó rà o wọ́n bí Dípò wọ́n bí ire ilé ire òun fún ara rẹ̀ ó tún wá tún rẹ̀ ó tún wá jẹ́ èèyàn kan tó jẹ́ pé bó ṣe jẹ́ social person yẹn Dípò kì í fi church ṣeré o ọmọ Anglican tó ń bí sínú Anglican ni ó máa ń kò fi church ó tún jẹ́ choir member so kẹ́lẹ̀ imagine irú èèyàn tí ó jẹ́ so kò sí èyí tí ò dá nínú gbogbo àṣà kò sí nínú ọ̀rọ̀ Dípò kò sí rárá kò sí ẹni tó dáa ni ọmọ tó ṣe yangàn ni ọmọ téèyàn lè bá rìn òun ni Dípò jẹ́ nínú àwọn ọmọ ìsànyà ògbó. He's one of our pride. He's one of our brightness in ìsànyà ògbó.
My life has always been about vision, pushing boundaries, helping others to succeed as much as I can, and it's been a life of selflessness. Try to be the best that I can be in everything that I do, and also adding values to people around me. I've seen life as a journey where it really does not matter where you start from. What really matters is where you are going to and how much you've been able to do for yourself and for people around you. I'm a very selfless person. I'm somebody who believes that, say, oh, no matter where you stand, there's always a place called forward. I like to push forward. I like to break boundaries. I like to make people succeed, help people succeed. I like to be very supportive in my own little ways. And I also love to make people happy, make sure that everyone around me we're happy together. As long as one of us is sad, all of us is sad. For me, life is life. As long as we are living, we keep pushing, we keep trusting God, and we keep doing our best to be better than who we were the last day.
Giwa, my leader, and for leader one.
ọmọ ràrùn àjọjọ ọmọ ràmásọwọ ọmọ àtàmátàrù èforo onígbèsè kéèmọ ẹni máa jẹ mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ́ abámáràrùn sọ ọmọ agbádé náà bá lórí ìbídògbò ọmọ lágáyà àṣejẹ ọmọ àṣejẹsẹ lóògùn ọmọ ògùn tí òògùn ara ẹ̀ ló tọ̀ ọmọ ọba rìn nílẹ̀ lẹ́mí tutù Oladipupo ń wẹ̀ lódò ogbé ọmọbìnrin yọwọ́ ọ̀sẹ̀ pé gba tèmi ẹnu Oladipupo gbà tirẹ̀ lé sóríire o ọmọ bàbá ntẹ́tẹ́ ọmọ àbáríwòye ọmọ mẹ́rin nísọ̀yà.
As we look back at the trail he's blazed, we see the evolution of a man who remains true to his roots while constantly evolving and seeking new ways to make an impact. In recognitions of his contributions, Dipo was honored as an awardee of the Ijebu Heroes of Change in 2017, among other accolades. His commitment to service and leadership extends across his professional, religious, and community engagement. Through it all, one thing remains clear: Giwa's commitment to improving the world around him, whether through business, social advocacy, or simply being a source of guidance and inspiration. This is just the beginning of Giwa Oladipupo Ogunlana's trail of success. His story reminds us that with resilience, vision, and a deep connection to our roots, we can overcome any obstacle and share a brighter future for all. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Stay inspired, and remember, success is not just a destination, but the trail we leave behind.